and the 1320 WILS Morning Wake Up.
One of the earliest memories I have, with my dad being out in public and, meeting other people or family members when, little kid going to California. This is your great uncle's is little man. This is how we shake hands, okay? It was a rite of passage for men in this country to learn how, from their fathers, if it was possible, or from some other male figure, how to shake hands, look a person in the eye, shake their hands firmly, but not to give them the death grip, and then when to let go and back off. It's, in a way, it's kind of an art form, but it's also, kind of rote. It isn't anymore, thanks to the pandemic. Are we seeing a return to this? In my experience so far, not a lot. But maybe it's coming. Let's talk to someone who knows her way around etiquette, good etiquette, nationally recognized specialist Valerie Sokolosky on the other end of our line, the author of Do It Right. Good morning. Welcome back.
It's good to be back, and it's an interesting topic, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know that every boy had the same. I was lucky. My dad, thought it was important that you learn how to properly shake hands with another man. And how to do so, by the way, how to do so with a lady, and it doesn't operate identical that way. The firm grip is then a lot softer, but it's still no less sincere. These are lessons that parents passed on to their kids. Is that going to be lost here this generation thanks to the pandemic?
I certainly hope not, because, on a deeper level, we're social beings, aren't we, Dave? We're meant to touch each other. We're meant to touch each other. And you're right. It's a rite of passage, particularly in business. It's come to be the way we first meet someone in a business setting, and that leads to the social setting. And so I hope it's not lost forever. I think we have to have some grace. I think we have to follow some of the ups and downs of what we're being told is, oh my gosh, now we wear masks again, maybe not, maybe yes, maybe no, depending on your state. So let me give you a few guidelines. One of them actually is the most difficult dilemma. It's one thing for me, as an example, I've been vaccinated, and if I am meeting someone for the first time and they don't have a mask on, there's an assumption in my mind, okay, we both have been vaccinated, we don't have our mask on. I feel a lot more comfortable.
Careful with this assumption, but go ahead.
That's true. Usually, from experience, they do shake hands. But what about the person? Well, what if I do extend my hand? Let's take two things. Right. And they don't. All right, so they put their elbow up or give me a fist or whatever. That's okay. No harm, no foul. I think the other issue, though, is for the person who doesn't want to, for whatever reason. And what do they say? Well, first of all, any of us can just simply walk up to someone with a big smile on our face and say, I'm so glad to meet you. That's easy for anyone.
Okay.
But if it's really difficult and someone has the guts to say this, they don't want to shake hands, just put your hands up sort of and say, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm just not comfortable yet.
Okay.
And that's grace.
So you put it back on yourself by saying, I'm not comfortable. You're not doing anything wrong, but I'm not comfortable doing that.
Right.
And it's not you, it's me. It's like the line. It's like the dating brush up. It's not you, it's me. It has nothing to do with you, it's me. But you say that so that they know that they're the ones not comfortable. They're not afraid of you, but they're not comfortable yet themselves. So let's just do the greeting from here. And that would be okay. I mean, I wouldn't take offense to that. Honestly,
I wouldn't. But here's another aspect that I want to bring up. I researched this. I did some research on what happens. Never mind the business aspect of we just do this. There's something about touch, just touch, neurologically. There was an actual survey done about the power of the handshake and what happens neurologically when the hand is extended. And here's what it is. Judgments are being made in our brain. I mean, without us even thinking about it, right?
Absolutely.
We're thinking about, do I want to know this person? Is this somebody I'm interested in getting to know? It even goes into trustworthiness. So I just hope it comes back. We have to have grace, and we have to make our own choices. Pretty simple as that.
Well, I think that makes common sense. And again, yeah, we're making judgments when someone comes with their hand extended. I mean, animals are doing that. Your dog, if you walk up to your dog and your arm is up over your shoulder and you have a menacing look on your face, I think they feel like they're in trouble and, something bad's going to happen. You walk up with your hands and palms open. They might come over and give your hand a lick, look up at you, and get a treat. I mean, it's a different deal, right? Same thing with people. I'm not trying to say people are dogs, because sometimes dogs are smarter, are wiser than people. I mean, my dog, learn more some days from her than I do anybody else. But no, I mean it. When people walk up to one another, you're reading the signals. You're trying to. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Is that, are they holding out their hand? Are they sincere? Men judge, at least they have, men of my generation, will also pass some judgment on the handshake of another person, Valerie, of whether it's firm, squishy, lame, sincere, pulled it away real quick, held it way too long. All those things.
You'll find this interesting then. So I call it my legacy program. Of all the leadership programs that I've done over the last 25 years, I still do one called Professional Presence. Your presence. Part of that is exactly what we're talking about, how you greet people. And today, if I were in front of a group, I don't care what level or what age, it still needs to be taught. When you are going to have a handshake, how do you do it? Because we're still getting the squishies. We still are. I know.
And I always take that as somebody who was never, given instruction at a young age, and maybe do no fault of their own, and, they had nobody there to help, guide that. And that's sad. Mm-hmm. But on the same side, you pick it up as, you go. My dad was an orphan at the age of 6, lost both his mom and dad, and someone had to instruct him, and he had to pick up his lessons where he got them. That was one of them. I appreciated that. Later in life, in business and everything else. But I wonder if it really is going to take a back seat coming out of the pandemic, because I know on social media, Valerie, I saw people saying, so the handshake is gone for good. Good riddance. I'm glad. This is how we share germs, all the other awful things of life through a handshake. Yuck. Well, we share, as humans, we share other things body to body, and it helps make life. So let's just be clear. That's part of biology, all right? Unless you want to live in a vacuum bubble.
You know what? Social media is just sometimes very yucky.
Goofy.
And it's interesting because some of those comments from people are those who wouldn't make them in person, but boy, they can sure type fast.
Yeah, I know, on Twitter, the keyboard warrior.
Yeah, and one more thing. There are so many barriers that have now been put up with all of this pandemic situation. You go into a grocery store. We don't like barriers. And you go into a grocery store or any kind of a retail store. Many of them have this plastic. It's a barrier. So we're living with all kinds of psychological things that are just
interesting. Yeah.
Creating a lot of angst. So I, for one, am back to what I said at the beginning. I hope it doesn't go away. I think, quote, normal people are ready to shake hands again. Keep the sanitizer, okay?
All right.
But that's still
around. Yeah, that's still around. I've got the dry skin to prove it from the too much sanitizer back in the day, but maybe not quite as much now. Valerie Sokolosky, nationally recognized specialist on etiquette, handshakes making a comeback or a casualty of COVID. Valerie, I appreciate you coming on today. Thank you. Good conversation, and look forward to chatting with you again soon.
All right. Good to talk to you, too. Thanks.
Thanks, Valerie.